I'm Scott Henderson, Parks and Recreation Director for Provo City, and also been recently assigned as Project Director for the new City Center project. Thought I would just take some time today to give everyone an update of where we're at in the City Center project and the processes that we're going through to get to that final finish line of a successful building in the end. So the first step was assembling both our internal and our external teams. So a steering committee was created involving representatives from the mayor's office, both the police chief, facility services, and myself as project director. So that took care of the inner team that was going to be keeping an eye on this project all the way through. Then we moved to going out for requests for proposals for the architect for the project, and then also the contractor for the project. We do the contractor a little early in the process, so we have the benefit of them giving us design estimates all the way through. So that involved putting out those requests for proposals nationwide, and then we received responses. Then the steering committee conducted interviews, and the architectural firm selected was VCBO Architecture out of Salt Lake, and the contractor selected was Layton Construction, also out of Utah. We really feel like we've got the dream team on this project, and I think that is probably one of the more critical decisions towards a successful outcome in the project. So after that point, once we have our architect and our contractor, which are both now under contract as of this date, then we start working with the different departments involved with the City Center and going through their spatial needs analysis. So we have had multiple meetings with every department discussing what type of square footage needs, their staffing levels, who's in what office, and making sure we get dialed into that. That is absolutely critical because there is no margin for error in that area. If we have a staff member, then when we move to the new City Center, that staff member needs a workstation or an office. So we've really gone through that process extensively, trying to nail down some of the different departments and areas in the city. And you can imagine in a city the size of Provo City that nothing is a static situation. There's constant changes throughout our organization. So we have to make sure that we're able to adapt to those changes. Some announced by the mayor were departmental changes. And so we got to make sure that we understand those changes and have spaces for those people so they can operate effectively in the new building. When that sets the square footage, then we move towards proximity studies on where we want them in the building. So we have determined what the department's needs. Now we look at what is the most efficient way to place them in the building and start combining like public safety elements together to keep them working together efficiently, or get other areas, other departments that work together a lot, get them closer together. So it turns into a government where you can architecturally design efficiency into government. The next thing, as we look at the site together, it runs all the way from Center Street, which is to my left, all the way, pans all the way down 500 West to 100 South, and then does an L down 100 South. So that whole site will be where the City Center is at. And so now we start working on what does that building look like? What is the height of that building? What accomplishes goals like secured parking for police and a fire station that can have a fire engine pull through? And that starts determining how the building lays out on the site. Then the next step, which I think is the step that everybody's excited about, is we start seeing look and feel of design of floor plans, look and feel of design of the outside building, and we start to get a feeling of what this building is going to look like and what we are going to be featuring on Center Street at 500 West as our gateway to the community. While all this is happening, we have acquired the tire store, which Firestone announced the end of their lease, and about at that same time we were looking at procuring that site. So the city now owns that corner, and then we're working with Rocky Mountain Drive-In and their lease will end in the latter part of summer, and we're working with them, I understand, on possible relocation ideas. So all this, the prep work for getting the site ready is happening while we're looking at the design of the building. The project on 500 West right now, we want to make sure we're coordinating with them because we can get our utility tie-ins done now, even before the building is constructed, so we don't have to come back and tear up a brand new road. And we all hate when we have to do that and be able to make those connections. So just thought this would be a good opportunity to give you an update of where you're at. Watch for later updates, and we'll all be excited to have a public meeting to discuss as the plans for the new city center develop.